Pamela's just said we're deep in coal mining territory here. I suppose it was in the past, but not anymore. We're at Ashington, north of Newcastle upon Tyne, so up on the northeast coast of England, heading for the Scottish borders. And yeah, it's a form. You think it's a former coal? Well, it's former coal mine here. It's called Woodburn.
Woodburn, indeed.
Woodburn, and it's just north of Ashington itself. So behind us, you might be able to see in the background, there's the remains of some of the workings. And just on my left-hand side, there's this remains of narrow gauge railway, which I think was something to do with the area. So it's very much an area of former coal mining and shipping and shipbuilding and so on. And of course the coal mining is all gone, long gone now.
And there's a coal mining museum that we're heading towards. I don't know whether we'll make it there, but apparently it's on the site of an old pit, and there's still the colliery. You can have a look around the old colliery buildings and stuff like that.
Yeah, so there's plenty of heritage items here. Somewhere I've not really been before, though when we lived in the northeast, we often used to come up here to meetings in Northumberland, but not an area I know particularly well.
I don't think there was anything here though, because I think it all looks like it's been built and developed subsequent to when we were here though. I think it's all reasonably recent.
Yeah. Well, in the 1980s and 1990s, I suppose, coal mining was still up and running, still employing a lot of people and still up and running.
Yeah.
So it's early-ish in September 2024, and what we're going to try to do is replicate, well, to some degree, the trip I did 50 years ago with my mum and dad and gran, which was this sort of grand tour of Scotland, or a bit of a road trip around Scotland. In the that was in the summer of 1974. We're in the early autumn now. Not quite doing the same trip, but we're going to visit some of the places I went to 50 years ago, and I'll try and see what I remember and what's changed. Now, when we did the trip 50 years ago, my dad simply drove all the way from Peterborough all the way up to North Berwick. Did it all in one day. I think my mum drove some of it, which was pretty good. But we're too soft for doing that. So we've made a couple of stops. We've already had a night in Harrogate before getting to Ashington. So we're taking it nice and steady. But we do intend to get to North Berwick tomorrow.
We do.
And we're going to see what we find there. And I've got a diary. I made a diary of my trip around Scotland. So I'm going to be using that as a reference point. Hopefully my memory's still pretty good, I think, but you never know with your memory whether you're quite remembering things correctly. But I use my diaries to some degree, and I can do a bit of comparing, contrasting with those 5 decades ago, and we'll see if we can retrace our steps to some degree anyway. But it's getting a little chilly here in the northeast, isn't it?
Yes, it's colder,
as we've gone north, it's got cooler, and as the journey north has gone on. But we're enjoying this round by the lake here at Ashington. And of course, it's very much symbolised here that the coal mining, or coal to produce electrical power, is replaced ideally by wind turbines to produce electrical power. And they are, well, they've got a lot of turbines here spinning pretty well where the coal mining was. So across the lake is where we're staying tonight. So there's a pub there and a good old Premier Inn, which should see us comfortably off. And out on the lake, scores of Canada geese There's a few mute swans, a few grey lags out there, and one or two other birds. And then there's a small collection of dogs. Coastal plain on the coastal route. Just left Ashington, heading north to Berwick-on-Tweed, and that's Workworth Castle. And it's a beautiful day. A bit cold out there, but plenty of sunshine. And the A1 drops down to a single carriageway. A long time since I've been this far north on the A1. Been up and down on the train quite a few times. Made it down to the beach at North Berwick. So it's 50 years since I've stood on this beach, but we're going to do a little bit of a walk, a bit of a wander, and see if we can survive the gales. So looking across the North Sea, so that's looking north up towards the Forth, the mouth of the Forth, and where the Forth comes out into the North Sea. So we're looking up that way, and then we think that the literally is a big rock out there, is Bass Rock, which is a big huge seabird colony. The thing I remember particularly about North Berwick is there was an outdoor pool which was heated, but it was seawater filled pool, and I've got no idea where that is, or whether it's even still here. But if we find it, I'll take a few shots at it. But I'm not going to risk too much filming, because the sand is whipping across like we're in the middle of the Sahara Desert. I think what is in front of me here is the seawater filled swimming pool, but it's not as exactly as I remember it, because what I remember is something more, you paid to go in, and there were changing rooms around the outside, and the water was heated. But maybe I've got the wrong location, but this feels about right, unless what I'm thinking of was built, used to be where the Seabird Centre is, which is up there. We really need to speak to somebody who knows the place, who could tell me. There's a dog down there having a good dig on the beach.
It's got proper walls and everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it was substantial. Yeah. So this is the next bit of beach at North Berwick, and then the coast sort of heads on south towards Tantalon Castle. Yeah, so we're pretty sure one of those photos, I've got the old photos, is taken from about here, looking across Millsey Bay and North Berwick, and we think Dad's car is parked somewhere where the cars are all parked along there now, and I think there's a couple of us actually in the picture if you look at it with a magnifying glass, and that's the Law up there, which Dad and I climbed one evening, which I think that's still quite achievement. Given it's about 600 feet, isn't it?
Yes.
To the top.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good if we did that, and I think we did that.
Yeah, there's a picture of you with the whalebone.
The whalebone at the top, and you can see the whalebone arch at the moment, can't you? At the top there.
Yeah.
we're continuing our prowling round North Berwick and enjoying the sunshine and the breeze. And I'm quite amused here that on the information board it says that North Berwick was once famously known as the Biarritz of the North, a French resort where doctors prescribed healing seaside visits. Take a deep breath, fill your lungs and get moving along this award-winning beach today. Doctor's orders. And what I thought originally was Bass Rock is Craigleith. That's the big island, the big rocky island down there. And then we're looking across to the Skellies, and in the distance the Lomond Hills. And if you're lucky, you might see seals out there, and I suppose when it's a bit quiet you see lots of wading birds, oyster catchers, redshank, purple sandpiper, but none visible today. So there you go, you've got to take a deep breath, fill your lungs.
Try not to get blown over.
And try not to get blown over. It's making a bit of a racket out here, but there's the little harbour at North Berwick, and I've found where the open air swimming pool used to be, which is now this sort of shipyard, dry dock sort of area. But you can see the old changing rooms where those coloured doors are opposite. There's a couple of people working here. So this is where the pool was, and then over on this side where this terrace is and the seats on the top, but below that again were the changing rooms. So we've managed to find find where it was. It's obviously all been filled in and it's no longer a pool, but yeah, this is where it was. So my memory is quite correct, and it's been nice to find some pictures. It was opened in the 1840s and presumably closed in the 1990s or something like that. But yeah, well filled in, long gone now. But yeah, very popular in its day, but maybe people want somewhere a little more comfortable, a little warmer than swimming in heated seawater. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a great experience, a lovely location to be in the swimming pool here, and the sea beyond, and the beach beyond it. Yeah, so I'm pleased we found it.